So we're here at Croft Moyle today with Unmasked. Please can you introduce yourselves and what Unmasked does?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Logan Smith, and this is
I'm Doug Dennison.
and Unmasked started off as an idea, everything really does. It just starts off as an idea.
Just over a year ago, wasn't it, today?
And yeah, just over a year ago, and it's just snowballed into something a lot bigger. But we just aim to spread support and give advice and give guidance to anyone living or going through difficult times, mental health wise. And yeah, just there to support and give advice. Really.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's quite funny because it was never meant to be this. No. We were just meant to build an app, release it, there it goes. But come January, we quit his jobs and just thought, right, well, we need to do this. There's been a lot of interest. We need to just go full hog and go.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done ever since.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit more about the app, please, that you've developed?
Yeah, sure. So last year, around October time, I think it was, I had an idea to create an app for people to log on and speak to other people about what they're going through and sort of narrow it down to who they talk to so they can search on age or location or what that person's living with. And the idea was just to give someone a place to go and vent or open up and get things off the chest and have the opportunity to remain completely anonymous until they choose otherwise. So once you start feeling confident, you start opening up to people, building bonds, you can then unmask yourself. So that idea cropped into my head, and the first person I thought of was Doug. So me and Doug have been best friends for about 12 years, really, really close friends. And I didn't know anything that was going on in Doug's mind until about 2 years ago. And so with this idea, I wanted to give him back some confidence as well and sort of say thank you for opening up to me and saying, like, look, I want you to be a part of this and come on board and what do you think of this idea? So we had his first meeting in a local pub in Torby Bridge, where we're from. And we sat down, and first thing we thought about is a name.
What do we think of?
And I remember him saying it, and he said to me, you know, when I get ready to go to work, I always get dressed, put my jacket on, my scarf, my hat, my shoes, and then the last thing that I always grab before I leave the door is mask. I always mask my emotions, I mask how I'm feeling. No one knows what's really going on in my head. And when I come home, I unmask myself. And then that were it then, and that's what sparked it. It was, why can't we be unmasked all the time? Why can't we express his feelings all the time, whether it's happy feelings or sad feelings? You know, we always express how happy we are and how great things are going, but why can't we unmask ourselves the whole time and express the sad times too?
I think one of the good things as well is as Logan was saying, you know, it's getting people talking. But one of the good things about the app, it's a true 24-hour, 7 days a week platform for you to talk on. It's, if you have been reaching out to someone and talking and they're not talking back to you in the middle of the night, because it is the middle of the night and people do sleep, then, you know, you've got a crisis button on there. You can hit the alert button and it rings a crisis team. So it truly is 24/7.
Yeah.
We know firsthand what it's like to walk through the door of somewhere to all these great places out there you can go. But we know how scary it is firsthand what it's like to go through them doors. So what we've done is create the door.
So brought the door to you.
Yeah.
Start building them confidence, start making the small stepping stones. We always talk about small steps, you know, taking small steps goes a long way. And with that app we've created the small stepping stone to building confidence, building bonds. And then, like I said, hopefully you unmask yourself on there, or you think, right, I need to go to one of these hubs, I need to go to one of these groups that's available now that I've got started talking about stuff.
Yeah, you can do it from your own home as well, that's the good thing about it.
So yeah, that's pretty much the app in a nutshell. It's a talking platform to get things off your chest, get support, give support.
And it's free.
Open up, it's free, no adverts, everything like that is, it's just out there. And sort of going back to like what Doug said, that's all we were supposed to ever do. That's what we was going to do. We had this idea. So there's not just myself and Doug, there's actually a third member of our team. It's called Robin Cunningham. And Robin has been a part of our lives for maybe 2 years as well.
Yeah.
A part of yours for 2 years, part of mine for maybe about a year and a half. And we met him at a local support group, and we gelled with him, became friends with him. And I guess that's the great thing about support groups, that you do create new friends, you do create bonds with people, and he's become such a close person to us now. But he's a part of Unmasked, and he wanted to come along on this journey. And
he's still got a job, and he still works, which is why he's not here.
yeah,
So he is, do you know the area, or like Myvern Road, Hebden Bridge?
yeah,
Well, that stretch in Myvern Road where I live is all the roadworks. He's in charge of that.
yeah. So he's the general foreman of that site. But
So that's why he's not here.
yeah, but yeah, it was never meant to be this. It was supposed to be, let's create this amazing free app, put it out there to the public, let it go. We'll go back to his normal jobs, and we'll just crack on there. So I've come from a background at customer service for the council. So I worked in housing benefit, council tax, universal credit, all them good things, and then
Swimming teacher.
yeah. For the past 9 years, I've been a swimming teacher.
There's nowhere we go where someone says, "I know him." It's like, I used to teach the kids everywhere we go. In fact, we were somewhere quite far of the week, and someone said, "That's Logan, taught me
Logan,
kids."
the teacher.
Mad.
So yeah, and Doug's got a sales background, working for a very reputable car sales company, and
Yeah, I used to sell
yeah.
commercial vehicles for big companies, small companies.
and we're just going to be, let's just go back to that, let it go, and then yeah, like you said, within 2 weeks, handed him his notice and said, let's keep spreading awareness, let's keep helping people. This is what we've got a passion for, and that passion just keeps growing every single day. You know, sometimes you might think, oh, it'll die off, but it don't. It just gets stronger and stronger, and the more people that comment or say, even the little comments. You know, I did a post on Facebook the other day, just a quote, and you know, and someone just comments saying, I absolutely love this.
I needed that.
Yeah, or I needed that. It just adds fuel to that fire of being, yeah. So I guess that's the app in a nutshell, and a bit about us. But.
How do people access the app? Do they download it from their app store or go onto a website?
Yeah, so you can access it through our website, unmaskedmentalhealth.co.uk, or you can just go directly to the app store. So it's on iOS and on Android. It's free to download.
Just type in Unmasked and it'll come up at top.
So you just have to do a verification process. So it's an email and date of birth, and we have a limit on there. It's 16 for 16 plus. So yeah, you get a verification email. Once you click that you're verified, you're away to go. Start talking to people. Yeah.
Great stuff. So what was the process from going from the app to setting up? You do training and you do hubs, is that right?
Yeah, so we've got a training company, and we've got the hubs. So the hubs run on the charity side. So we run community support hubs, because that was the next process. Because I was said, obviously, we built the door, but we want people to go to these hubs as well. And we've set up community support hubs. We've got 4 across Calderdale at the moment.
Yeah.
We're just about to open a 5th one. In fact, we're about to open 2, because I keep forgetting about the Tormadon one.
Yeah.
So we're about to open 2 more, where they're just places where you can go every Thursday night, 7 p.m, and women, men, we've had couples through our door that talk to each other,
families.
that won't talk at home, but you put them in a room and they'll talk to each other, and they're like, wow, I never knew that. And it's great. We've had families through his doors, people 16 plus, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just people to go, open up, get things off the chest, and just leave feeling better than when they walked in.
I mean, we have some people that have been coming since day one, since we started these hubs, and I want to say that they do message and say, oh, I feel great, I feel better now, but they still come because of the friendships that they've created, the familiar faces, people that they might not necessarily stand and talk to in the street, or
all different
get
walks of life,
opportunity
isn't
to.
it?
So yeah, it's great.
It's good, because for me, if you look around the room, you can. I always look at people's shoes. So if you look at people's shoes, you can see, like, the guy with the shiny shoes might be a doctor or whatever, but then you might have a guy in rigger boots that's from a building site, that these two people might not never talk, but you can see the bonds they've made and the friendships they've made just by being in a room talking to each other. It's just good.
Yeah, and then so after we started doing the hubs, it then progressed on to, right, we want to start putting some money into them hubs and opening them up, because they need the facilities sometimes need paying for.
Yeah.
The teas and coffees, the things like that need paying for. So we decided to start the limited side of things, and went down the route of training. So we now offer mental health first aid, the 2-day course, the 1-day course. We are just about to start offering the mental health first aid, the youth one. So we do the adults and the youths. We've been working closely with Highfields Qualifications to create a brand new level 2 and level 3 qualification in mental health first aid, and then we also do our own awareness sessions. So these are a bit like bespoke sessions. If a company wants us to talk about something like specific, we'll do that, but generally it's just an overview on signs and symptoms, coping strategies, how to look after your well-being, how to help someone else's well-being, listening skills. There's a few little activities in there as well.
I like them.
But one of the main things that we talk about is our own personal stories on how we got here today, and sort of showing that there is grass. The grass is greener on the other side.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. You're not alone, and if we've been through this journey, anybody can get there. It's just how you get there, and that's the science of the stuff we teach. Yeah.
So all three of us have been through completely different journeys, and so we can relate to a lot of other people. Just by expressing us, standing up on stage and doing that, it hopefully might spark someone's confidence to go do the same thing, or at least go back home and say, look, this is how I'm feeling. I think I need to go get some advice or some support. And it's been working really well. We go up and down the country doing that now.
I've just had a phone call from someone in Chichester.
Yeah, so right down at the bottom of the country. We go to Bristol quite often. We go up to Cumbria quite often. So it is really spreading. It is just what we love doing. We love getting out and about, talking about a story, and hopefully inspiring others to do the same.
The aim for the hubs as well. So obviously the aim for the hubs, we've got the Calderdale hubs, but we want to branch out of Calderdale, don't we? We want a hub. It's a big dream. We want a hub within an hour's drive of any location in the UK. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can get to these hubs, and they're all run the same. So if you go to one, we'll just use Chichester as example because we just used it. If you go to one in Chichester, but then you've got to visit friends in Newcastle, you know on a Thursday night that no matter what you're walking into, it's going to be the same as where you've come from anyway. Yeah. So it builds that confidence, and you've got that idea of what's going on there before you walk through the door.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know the format.
You know the format. You know how it works, and you just go in and just be yourself.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about your personal stories, about how you got to this?
Sure, yeah. So mine started around 2 years ago, and I think it's right what I've just said on the video that we've just done ourselves upstairs. I wanted to start off with a bit of a powerful statement, and it's a true statement. I never really knew that mental health existed until I met my wife. And that's where my story begins. So I never really knew what were going on in people's minds, what other people's thoughts were. I never saw it, never heard about it, because it 3 years ago it wasn't really spoken about that much as it is today. And 2 years ago, or just over 2 years ago, 14th of September, my daughter was born. So Ola came into this world, and it was all happy, all jolly, and then postnatal depression took a hold of Charlotte and really, really affected her. It was a very, very difficult time at the beginning. It's definitely got better now, but we all have ups and down days. But Charlotte's certainly on a better path now. But from that day that things started to get worse, it just started to really sort of spiral very fast, and my OKs sort of lost the power. Being there as a husband and seeing her every day, I'd come into the house and just be like, everything's all right, everything's fine, don't be upset. I never really knew what to say, the right things to say as well. But yeah, I'd say everything's okay, and it's a bit similar to me like saying to her every 5 minutes that I love her. It loses its sort of power behind it. So I wanted to do something different, and that's where I thought of the Unmasked thing. I wanted to give myself the knowledge, I wanted to train on mental health and understand it more, understand it better. And I ended up actually going to a support group myself for this time. I was struggling myself as well, just to understand Charlotte, but also understand that I was a 25-year-old parent and I was a 25-year-old husband, and my wife wasn't working at the time, and it was just me that was doing it. I just felt like there was a lot of strain on myself, and I just needed someone else to tell me that it's okay, someone I didn't know, and yeah, just from to put things into perspective and just be like, you know, I went through a tough time of thinking I'm going to lose it all. I had this overwhelming sense of like insecurity and anxiety that I've now got the perfect dream of having a child and getting married and stuff like that, and having my friends around me. What's going to happen? I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to lose it all. And then, yeah, I just needed someone else again to just tell me, look, you've got a ring on your finger, you've got your child at home, you're not going to lose it all, because that's, you know, I just need someone to say
You're
that.
okay.
Yeah, that's it. I just need someone else to tell me that it's okay. So yeah, that's why I got into it, and that's a bit about my story and my journey. So Charlotte's postnatal depression is the reason why I do what I do today, to support her, but also to support anyone else going through this time that I've been through. There's a lot of parents out there, or a lot of partners out there that have the other significant others going through a tough time, and how to deal with it. You know, it is a struggle. It is tough. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm not on my own. Definitely not. But it is tough to see your loved one going through such a hard time and not knowing how to support or the right things to say. So that's why I got into it.
My story is a little bit different. So mine started about 11 years ago. I ended up getting somebody pregnant, and we found out we was having identical twins. And what happens was, she moved in with me. The relationship moved really, really fast. And then one day I turned around in bed and she wasn't there. She was going into labour on the bathroom floor. And what I had to do was ring an ambulance service. But first I rang her dad, because I thought he'll know what to do. Don't know why. And then he ended up coming round, and we was on the phone to the ambulance service, and it's like, we can't get there, there's nothing we can do for 25 minutes, you're on your own basically. But they stayed on the phone, give us instructions of what to do and everything like that. And we delivered the babies. They all shared one sack because they were identical twins. We kept them alive, and then going forward, the ambulance service then turned up, said, well done, you've done great. Whisked them off with my partner in ambulance, and we followed behind in the car. And obviously they'll get there first because they've got the blues and the twos on. And when we got there, my partner was outside screaming at the time and crying, saying they won't do anything, they won't save them. And it was purely down to gestation periods around legal abortions and stuff like that, and we was 3 days out. So legally they can't step in, they can't do anything, and they said if they survive, fine, we'll rush them to Pinderfields, we'll put on life support and we'll go from there. And unfortunately they didn't. They only survived a couple, well, not even an hour, I don't think. And to me that was, what next, what do I do now? And I just thought the best thing to do, because at the time, 10 years ago, man up, get on with it. And that's what I thought I had to do. So I bottled all my feelings up, didn't talk about it, and thought, right, I need to look after everybody else around me. How's everybody else feeling? And it got worse. My depression, as it was then, got worse. And the relationship broke down pretty quick. And then that sent me on a different path. I started going out more. I started drinking, not to the extent where I was alcoholic or anything like that, but I started drinking, and again I ended up getting another girl pregnant. And in my head I'm thinking, oh my God, this can't happen again. What do I do? You know, it's just going to happen again. But people tell you it's not going to happen again. Lightning doesn't strike twice. This can't happen. But what happened is every time I went for a scan, there was something wrong on the scans, so we had to go for scans then weekly, and it turns out that the baby had something called Edwards syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of that, but what Edwards syndrome is, it's like the opposite to Down syndrome. So what happens is you've got your chromosomes in your body, they come in pairs, so chromosome 18 had a third, which shouldn't be there, which is what the Edwards syndrome was. So we did a lot of research into what happens, survival rates, births and stuff like that. We couldn't find anybody that lived over the age of 10. So we knew what the outcome was always going to be. So Boxing Day, we went into labour. He was born, and I was put in a position with that was taken away from me before. So do we put him on life support, knowing the outcome is going to be what it is anyway, and that's the life he's going to live on life support through machines and stuff like that, or do we let him fight and see how long he can fight for? Now we chose the latter, and he survived for 2 hours and then passed away. But again, it was the same situation. What do I do? I've got to be strong for everybody else. I need to be strong. But that relationship moved on. We got married. We've now got a 7-year-old. I am going through, divorce is done now, so we've split up, got a divorce. But it was about 4.5 years ago when it got too much for me, and I thought, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know what to do, because I didn't talk about it, and I just pushed it all into the back of my head. And this is when I went to the doctors, and it turns out that I've got PTSD because of the trauma. I didn't understand it, I didn't realise what it was. And when he explained, you've got your traumas, PTSD run by trauma and stuff like that, and what you've been through, but I tried to drive my car into a wall, and I thought I just had enough, and I don't want to be here. But it was only at the last split second when I thought, what am I doing? I've got a little boy. And what would it be like for him growing up without a dad? And that's when I stopped. But I covered it up, I didn't tell anybody, because I thought I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tell anybody what I've done, because you don't do that, do you? And I didn't realise that's what people think of me, because I've come from rugby. I've got a lot of rugby mates that you think they're going to ridicule you and stuff like that, but they didn't. And it was only when I met my partner and Logan, I broke down on Logan in where we had his first meeting, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I broke down to him. I couldn't cope anymore about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then through Logan and my partner, Becca saying, you need to go see someone, we need to talk about it. And that's when I went to the talking group, and I went to these peer support groups, and that's when I've started to open up about it and talk about it. And I know I'm not on my own, and I know things are better. It's a tough one really, because I know I'm not on my own now, but I still feel it. I still struggle. I'll have good days, I'll have bad days, but I know I'm on the right path, and that's only through talking and getting people saying to me, you need to go talk. And I hid it for a while. I didn't talk, did I? I was saying I would go to these talking groups for 5 weeks, and I just sat in car park because I didn't go in. I was just like, oh God, no, I might know people in there. And it was only when I got caught out by my partner, she said, you haven't been, have you? I said, yeah, I have. But she knew somebody that had been to a different group. So they'd ask the same questions. So I got caught on one of the questions, and they were like, you haven't been? I don't know, I have. So then I had to drag my mate along with me to come, and that's when I started going, and that's when I knew.
I guess the beauty of it now though is, like you said, that you have up days and down days, and it's the same for Charlotte as well, but now we know what's going on in your mind, because for them 10 years we didn't know as a group of friends. It's like we have
a big group of friends.
We have a good, really strong group of friends that you feel like you would be able to tell them everything. But we meet once a year now, because we've all got families, some of us moved away and things like that. But we have a Christmas meet up once a year, get us Christmas jumpers on, have a right good laugh. And for the past, fair few years, Doug's sort of drifted away. So it's been where he's come along, but then he's left early, and then he gets earlier and earlier and earlier, and then it just ends up where he doesn't come. And because no one knew out of our group of friends what was actually going on and what he was actually thinking, we just thought he were at home, he wanted to spend time with his partner, or it was, it just got right into strictly or something like that, and he just didn't fancy coming out with boys anymore.
No one asked though, that's the thing, that's like, no one asks because people just presume.
But when you're having these bad days now that you've told us and that we all know, we know how to support him now, or at least offer some advice, or just say a quick text, I'm here if you need me, mate. And that's the beauty of it. The beauty of not having a good day is that now that you've opened up, you've got all this support group that's wanting to help you. The people that you thought probably wouldn't help you are there at the front line, helping you as much as possible. And that's the power of talking, really, isn't it? The power of speech.
Definitely.
Without revealing any sort of secrets, what are your future plans?
Yeah, so Doug hinted on it earlier. We'd like to spread these hubs across the country, get them within an hour's drive of each town or city.
They're all volunteer led, aren't they? So the aim of the hubs is we go open it, we identify who would make a good facilitator and co-facilitator. We'd put them in place, and then we move on and open another one, and that's how we want to spread, isn't it?
Yeah, and so that's one of the goals. And we also just want the app to spread out there a lot more. The app is currently across, I think it's probably about 7 countries at the moment that it's being downloaded in. So it's just getting it out there more.
The more people that use it.
Yeah, the more people that use it, the more it works. Sometimes we get asked, do you make money from the app? Or because you're asking people to download the app, are you getting revenue from it? And it's not. It's completely free.
There's no adverts on there.
There's no adverts. It's just there.
It's what people are talking about.
And that's the thing, when we say people need to download this app, or please download the app if you're wanting to start talking, start giving support or receiving support. It's not to help fund my going out on a weekend. It's to help people. So yeah, that's the future goal. There is some more goals that we haven't really mentioned to anyone yet. These sort of sit in the back. We've probably got at least 10 ideas.
We had a spider chart at one point, but we had to take it down because it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just like, we need to really innovate and really concentrate on that thing and really concentrate on the business thing as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's loads of plans out there.
So there is, yeah. I mean, we do multiple different things, to be honest. Like, so we have the training side of things, but we also work closely with another company called Be Quirky, which is based here in Halifax, and they're just trialling a project at the moment. So we're helping out with that, helping move this project forward.
She's going to schools, isn't she? Getting kids to doing a program about understanding emotions. Like, you might have butterflies in your stomach, but you can have butterflies for different reasons. Yeah. Or you might not got your favourite bowl of Cocoa Pops this morning, but that doesn't mean you're depressed. That just means you're a little bit upset. So it's a really good programme. It's been trialled at the moment and it's going really well.
It's going really, really well. So there's that we're involved in. There's a few other projects that we're involved in. But I think going forward in the next year or two, few years, is just to keep spreading the awareness, spreading the support, but just building connections with other organisations doing the same thing. There's so many out there. Even if it's a Facebook group, these Facebook groups work. People get invited into a private group. They feel confident because it's private. Not everyone can see what's going on, and they do work. So even just connecting with people like that and joining together to hopefully unmask the stigma of mental health.
Brilliant. Do you have anything else that you want to add, or any other questions?
No, I mean, I would like, maybe from both of you, just one final sentence or two that you would want to give to an immediate message to people right now.
I think for me, we've been asked this again today. And I really struggled. Like, with the cameras put in front of your face, I really struggled. Like, oh God, what do I say? But I think for me, I just want people like that word. It is okay to talk. It is okay to talk, and being open and honest and talking to people. You're probably not going to get the reaction you think you're going to get. You're probably going to get welcomed with open arms. So I just want people to open up. It's okay. You shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't be embarrassed about how you're feeling. Open up, talk, and if you are struggling, download our app. It's there. You can remain completely anonymous.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
You did. So for me, coming along doing what I'm doing, I've realised that mental health is very much just like a broken bone. With the right care, the right support, the right advice, it's going to be just as strong as it's ever been. And that's why I use the broken bone sort of thing. When we break his bone, it does heal and it does get stronger. And it's the same with his mind as well. With the right people, the right support, the right network of friends, it's going to be just as strong as ever.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time.
No,
And
thank
good luck
you.
with all
Thank
your
you.
exciting projects.
Thank you very much.